Відпочинок. Another day. Oh, okay, let's look. I look. Another day I've been staring at the window, looking at clouds, and what I found out was I was thinking about history that I studied. And I studied quite some history, honestly. Like, I usually, the most, like, massive subjects I studied was history of Russian Empire. And there was kind of, like, I was wondering this, like, like, all this kind of stuff. And, like, in 18th century there was this Catherine the Great, and she ruled very greatly. Every Western know her as a symbol of feminism and of great rule and of equality of genders, and that was like point. And I thought, like, just if you look at Russian Empire, you see that there's kind of this Napoleonic Wars at the beginning of 19th century, and I kind of figured that Russia won in Napoleonic War because basically Catherine was really before that. Before she died, she ruled very greatly, and then when this Alexander came to power, he got countries that was very solid, like bourgeoisie have a lot of power, and it was pretty stable at that time, and France didn't have anything like sufficient to like put on the other thing, like on the other side. Like steam engine haven't been invented yet, or it was, but it wasn't really widely spread, and so that was it. And when you look later at 50s, 1950s, where Crimean War, in that time, like Western superpowers, they achieved more strength with this steam engines and stuff, and here Russian Empire lost. Yes, and same as you see, like Second World War, like you see first and second. First, basically, Russian Empire kind of lost, like its mess began because rule wasn't consistent. But Second World War, it won because I think, in my opinion, because there was before that like pretty long piece of like prosperity, and when everything was produced, goods and stuff, and I think that was kind of the point. And I also kind of figure out that kind of history is kind of like these spirals. Like, its idea isn't new actually, that history is like spirals, but I kind of reinvented it to myself. Like, the half of spiral is basically war, and the half is peace, prosperity, when everything builds and stuff. And if you look at this timeline that we just looked upon, you can clearly see that this spiral theory is really in it. Like, you see the rule of Catherine the Great, it's like half of spiral where no war, everything is building, like everything is stable. Then Napoleonic Wars, you see this half where wars. Then again, when you look at 20th century, like before World War II, like there has been kind of growth and building and industrialization in the empire. And then World War II, there's again destruction and war, and after that, shortly after that, you can see that there's again this half of peace and prosperity.